I never got it, why'd you have to go? I guess this world's too slow for you. I think there's beauty in the gray, the cold, but you just want the gold. And there's no way I can beat it, 'cause I got no chance, no chance when it comes to her. She got the glitter and the fame, and I just wasn't enough.
Hi, Mike and Arlen, our Philippine Journey. Hope you guys are all doing well. Why did your Filipino girlfriend cheat on you, or your Filipino wife cheat on you? And you may be able to use some of these reasons that we're going to give you in any country. But I thought I would explore it because the more we look at what we've been seeing, especially post-COVID, it's become much more acutely pronounced. I'm not saying that it's happening more often, but I'm definitely saying we're hearing more about it. So maybe it's just because it's a good drama issue and we see it in the news and on different talk shows and YouTube. But before we go into that, let me ask you one quick question. Would you please consider subscribing to the channel, hitting that thumbs up, it really helps, and the notify bell so that you can be aware of the content when we post it. And if you're feeling really generous, share it on Facebook. We're going to make a concerted effort in the last few months of the year this last 5 months of the year to grow the channel. Anyways, let's get on with the actual subject. Thank you. So why? Well, it could be for a lot of reasons, but the most common reasons that we see are sort of, it seems like there's some common denominators in them. And I'm going to tell you, it should be important that you understand that just because some of these common denominators exist does not mean your partner is going to cheat on you. It just means that's what we see often. The first one's kind of obvious as far as I'm concerned, but if you cheat, why won't she cheat? And I don't mean just here, but especially for those of you that have not moved here full time or aren't living full time with your partner, and you're in a long distance relationship and you feel it's okay because you're not there or she's not there, don't you think she probably feels maybe the same way you do as well? It's a possibility. The second reason is don't think that Philippine women are stupid. If you're cheating, she's going to have either a very good idea of it or she's going to catch you and she's going to know it happens, even if she doesn't say a word. And that can happen. All right. The next reason that we run into is issues of communication. You know, it could be that there are communication issues that you don't understand. For instance, Filipinos do not like confrontation. You see it, sure you do, on YouTube and stuff like that, social media, but it's not something that they are very vocal and exercise constantly. They're not into confrontation. They just get real quiet. And you know something's wrong. Or you should. You should certainly know something is wrong. Well, when you start to press certain buttons trying to get that out of them, that shows a little bit of insecurity on your end. Now, obviously, we want to know what's going on. I don't disagree with that. And we want to engage in a conversation. But I would be very cautious about starting to show that you're not as strong emotionally as she thought you were. I mean, sometimes they're just pissed off at their siblings or their family, and it puts them into a silent mood or mode. They call that tampo, when they just shut down and don't talk a lot. They don't want to say anything and they don't want to talk about it. What is your role, or how do you foresee her role in that relationship? If you're going to treat her like she's your personal maid or your personal cook, okay, and you're not going to involve her in the real guts and mechanisms of a relationship, I don't think she's going to appreciate that. And I don't think you would either. You know, we looked it up, and the most recent study from IFS is actually that about 20% of men cheat in their relationship, and about 13 or 14% of women cheat in relationships. And that's not a huge number. So that should make you feel reasonably good that you have a reasonably good reason not to expect it. But that doesn't mean that you won't propagate it. That doesn't mean that you won't perpetuate that action by your own actions. And I know that makes little sense when it comes right down to it, but you have to imagine being a Filipina. All right? You have to imagine what it's like to be in a relationship where when you lead them with your wallet, they know that they can be led right out of that relationship, and you can lead another girl post haste. There's a bountiful supply. You know, it's an issue of supply and demand here. And expats or foreign tourists, visitors, expats are in high demand. You know, when we go back and we look at what we said before in item number 2 about if you do it, why wouldn't she? Well, there's also the issue of hypergamy. You know, women want a better life, and you cannot blame them for wanting a better life. So if they're not getting the security in that relationship that they feel they need, the future in that relationship, because they're not stupid. Don't think, I mean, I see so many men that think Philippine women are stupid. You know, they're not stupid. They know that you're not going to be around forever. What kind of future are you going to provide for her? They're going to upgrade. Now, I will touch on the age gap problems. There are age gap issues, or age gap issues can exist. Okay? And that biggest issue with the age gap is keeping them occupied, happy, and intimately satisfied. Think about this for a second. If you're 55 years old and you marry a 20-year-old girl, or you become involved in a 20-year-old girl, when she turns 35, 15 years from now, she's just only reaching sexual maturity. However, for the vast majority of men, they're now turning 70. Their sexual maturity left long ago. I'm not saying they're not still intimately active. I'm not saying or suggesting, anything to the contrary. But what I am saying is, if you can't keep them intimately involved and satisfied, and I don't mean, when I say satisfied, I'm not talking about, those 19, 20, 21-year-old days when you would spend 6 hours in bed. All right. But what I am saying is doing a decent job, and that it's not all about your needs and it pays attention to hers. Well, what do you think she's going to do? Well, I mean, if she's not feeling like her future is being looked after, if she feels like she's a subjective cook or nurse or something like that, and she's not being taken care of, or she's not satisfied with the intimacy of the relationship that you provide, she'd be looking somewhere else for it. Now, many of you will always say, my Filipino's never going to cheat on me. She just has it made. She doesn't have to work. She doesn't have to do this. She doesn't have to do that. I supply everything. Well, there's a lot of stuff that you don't supply. All right? There's a lot of stuff you may not supply. You can only buy certain things. And guess what? I've said this before. It doesn't matter how much money you have. You can't buy that relationship. You can only lease it at best. If your game plan is to buy a relationship, you're only on a lease, because there's always going to be somebody with a bigger wallet than yours. Now, it may not be making a good choice for her, but how many of us have not made good choices before? How many of us have made bad choices? And you need to just step up, walk in, or go back there. Oops, wrong way. Go back there. Look in the mirror. Tell me that guy hasn't made a mistake. I don't have, and I'm sure there are, but I don't have any expat friends that haven't been divorced at least once. So if you've already failed in one relationship and you're not changing and not making changes in how you work within that relationship, that can be a reason. Now, again, getting back to what I said, don't misunderstand me. No one of these items is going to cause her to cheat. Well, maybe. All right. She may get pissed off. I mean, Filipino women get very jealous. All right. And she may get pretty pissed off if she catches you cheating. That's for sure. All right. But if it doesn't take it's like a snowball effect. Okay. The more things that aren't correct, the more ways that you mismanage your relationship, the more opportunity for that to fail exists. So with that being said, if your Filipino wife or girlfriend cheated on you, love to hear some comments about it and be honest about why she cheated on you. What were the conditions? We'd love to share that however we can, so that other men can learn from it. Otherwise, please subscribe, hit that thumbs up, share this video, and then have a great day. Thanks. Bye.